Hi, once again, this is Genesis with Genesis, the beginning of something beautiful. I wanted to come to you again with another tutorial. I wanted to talk to you guys about, I wanted to talk to you guys about how during the matriarchy and during the existence of this planet and the beginning of this planet, which happened in matriarchy, of course. It was the women who created the economic systems. It was the women who created the systems of trading goods, the system of agriculture, trading goods, the buying and selling of goods, the bartering system, because we didn't have necessarily a Federal Reserve Bank or monetary system. But it was the women who created the economic systems of this of matriarchy and of this planet. Now, what happened during matriarchy when the women created the economic systems? Things were going good until the malevolent males, the call them divine masculines, let's say, things were going good until they infiltrated the economic systems. They started cheating on the women. The reason they were cheating on the women and having babies all over the place with the women is because they wanted to use the women for resources. So once they started doing that, they were stealing the resources from the women, and they broke down and tore down the economic system. And that's the same thing that you see today with this reptilian imposed operation and mindset. You see, the men operating, going from door to door, dealing with different women. And it's about economics. It's okay for them to date outside the ethnicity or date outside the race, but not you, because they feel it gives you a level up on an economic level and on a social level, a level of status. They don't want the women to be able to operate or do anything, but they want to be able to do everything at your expense. Now, what happened, there's a lot of talk in the tarot card community about divine masculine. I say so-called divine masculine, because the one they're talking about, he does not have a soul. And you're beautiful, divine feminine. Now, divine masculine, what happened with the Andromeda Insectilian bloodline, basically, you have the full Andromedan, and you have the Andromeda Insectilian, which is a hybrid. Anything that has anything on the recessive side of those genetic beings, like Gray, Draco, Reptilian, Anunnaki, those, they can be either male or female. But your only female base would be Andromedan or Andromeda Insectilian, such as myself. You would only find that being in a female-based form, because we don't have Reptilian or Draco or Anunnaki or Gray or any other extraterrestrial on our recessive side. Now, like I said, you may find an Andromeda Insectilian with Reptilian on the recessive side, for example, and you may find her to be a female. Okay? But also you will find ones that are male as well. So that's why the genetics of the Andromedan and Andromeda Insectilian and the Andromedan bloodline period is melanin feminine dominant energy. That's one reason. Now, what happened as we were coming back online for matriarchy, the last three timelines, the men had the power and were in position because they had certain aspects of patriarchy. They were operating in certain aspects of patriarchy, so they had a home court advantage nonetheless. They were supposed to help turn this shift in consciousness around, in order for them to become a soul being and open up portals and dimensions for them to be able to go up to the 5th, 6th, 7th dimension. In order for that to happen, you need the melanated woman's vagina. In order for that to happen, you need the worship of the life force in order for that to occur and happen. Not the worship of the anus. That actually takes you backwards into the system of white supremacy patriarchy, and it actually destroys the male. Our male counterpart, it genetically exterminates him and takes him away from the divine. Now, what happened I noticed with our Andromeda Insectilian males, I noticed that they admire us. They admire low key. They admire the Andromeda Insectilian females, and they basically wanted to replace us. So that's what, the last three timelines, the abuse that we were suffering, all the choices and options that they had, which didn't do them any good. It didn't do them any good. Quantity is not always better than quality, but it did them no good. It seems like it, brought about STDs and HIVs and 1, 2, 3s and sexually transmitted disease and sexually transmitted demons. But they were supposed to basically change the system in order for us to go to 5D. And what would have happened was the Andromeda Insectilian male would have been able to take over the third dimension and have his own patriarchy starting in third dimension to fifth dimension. But more than just a patriarchy of his own, he would have been able to have his own dimension and claim his own dimensions from the third to the fourth to the fifth. So with me, I claim my dimensions from the fifth, sixth, seventh dimensions. So when our Andromeda Insectilian, if he wouldn't have forfeited and chose the karmic over the divine, he would have been able to take the third dimension, fourth dimension, and fifth dimension, which is all physical realms, and he would have been able to dominate all three dimensions. The Andromeda Insectilian female, we dominate the fifth, sixth, seventh dimension metaphysical realms, and we dominate all three dimensions. This is where the balance comes through. This is where the dimensional balance comes through. When you're in 3D, it's basically third dimension and is being dominated by the lower fourth dimension. But when you're dealing in matriarchy, you're dealing with from the downloads that I've gotten. I know that you're dealing with the third dimension to the seventh dimension. The men were supposed to take over the third, the fourth, the fifth, and we're taking over the fifth, sixth, and seventh, and we meet in the middle at the 5D dimension, which is which starts the love frequency. It's a benevolent dimension. So the third, the fourth, and the fifth would have been the physical realm dimensions that the Andromeda Insectilian male would have taken on. The fifth, sixth, and seventh dimensions are the metaphysical realm dimensions, where the Andromeda Insectilian female takes those on and dominates and becomes god of those dimensions, as the Andromeda Insectilian male becomes god of the third, fourth, and fifth physical realm dimensions. And this is where the balance occurs. I'm just trying to explain this to you guys. I hope you understand it, but this is where that balance occurs. And you can have universal man, universal woman implementing the system of justice. And this is how it's done. It's more responsibility to take on in matriarchy because you're dealing with more dimensions. You're not living just in a system. You're living in a multitude of dimensions. I would say from where we are in this region, from the third to the seventh dimension. So what happened is, in patriarchy, a lot of our Andromeda Insectilian men, a lot of these entities you see, they don't want to take that much accountability or responsibility. They wouldn't even want to take accountability of a system, let alone 3 dimensions. They don't want to do that much work, but yet they wanted to lay up on the patriarchy and get resources from the patriarchy, and then they wanted to use the platform of the patriarchy to replace the matriarchy. Like, they don't want to give anything because they don't manifest anything, because a soulless being doesn't manifest anything. So what happened with the Andromeda Insectilian male worldwide, he's okay with the full Andromedan because he wants to use her like a man, because he figures she can be his husband. But he wanted to totally obliterate and exterminate the Andromeda Insectilian female, which is his direct counterpart, because he himself wanted to replace you. The Andromeda Insectilian male, he wants to replace the Andromeda Insectilian female. He basically wants to be the pretty girl. He basically wants to be the salacious ebony queen, not knowing that our position is to dominate at 5th, 6th, 7th dimension metaphysical realm. Okay? Now, I know over here, when you see the full Andromedan women, a lot of them are genius-like. They have very high IQs, and they will be considered or classified, on paper as geniuses. And then your Andromedans, maybe like a full Andromedan in Africa was a manifester in 5D, a physical realm material manifester in 5D over there, the full Andromedan female. So somebody has, in order to be the Andromeda and Sextillion, somebody has to carry this thing metaphysical, fifth, sixth, seventh dimension. And that's what America, we used to call these places regions. They weren't called countries during the matriarchy. They were called regions. And that's where America, for lack of a better word, comes in. Somebody, the light body, the Andromeda and Sextillion female who is a light body. That's why we're a metaphysical being. This is metaphysical territory. Somebody has to carry the shit. If you got the Andromeda, the full Andromeda in Africa, and she's a manifester in the physical realm 5D, you have the male, the Andromeda and Sextillion male. He's supposed to be dominating third, fourth, and fifth dimension. Somebody, physical realm, third, fourth, fifth dimension, physical realm, the Andromeda and Sextillion male. Somebody has to carry this thing metaphysically. I'm not just here looking cute. I'm not just here being an Andromeda and Sextillion and being taken care of by my Anunnaki. Somebody has to carry this thing metaphysically, fifth, sixth, seventh dimension, and that's where we come in. And a lot of times, because people don't have an eye, most people do not have an eye. They don't have a soul or have the ability to see dimensions. When matriarchy comes online, a lot of people are going to make fun of it. A lot of people are going to be ignorant towards it because they really don't know what it looks like. And so, they may see things only from the third dimension. It's about the money, it's about the sex. They may, but if you're seeing things from the fifth dimension on up, you're going to easily be able to see anything that's under 5D. So that's how that went, okay? That's how that situation went. So yeah. So that's what happened. I think what I wanted to tell you guys, if anybody remember when Divine Masculine, when he chose the karmic over the Divine Feminine, keep in mind that those men did that as a collective. Those boys did that as a collective. When the Andromeda and Sextillion, for instance, male, when he chose the karmic over the Andromeda and Sextillion female, they did that as a collective. And the reason they did it is because it wasn't that he wanted to use her to replace you, Andromeda and Sextillion female. He wanted to use her as like his husband. And he wanted to replace you with himself. So I just want to let you guys know that I'm not trying to diminish or downplay the negativity that I'm sure, you went through. I'm sure your heart was crushed and shattered. And you may not have had a full, well-rounded understanding, of the Divine Masculine and why he rejected you for the karmic. But just understand that they did that as a collective. They did that with a shitty collective consciousness. And now they looking stupid. They paying for it. They playing all over your phone. They playing all over your social media. They mad. You know what I'm saying? They thinking about when you fucked them in the last lifetime and the lifetime before then and why they can't get none now. And they mad because you got a Anunnaki husband. Even though we was running around with all these Dracos and shit, cheating on somebody, but they don't, it's okay for them to have, it's okay for them to be able to go and do, but you can't even be able to go and do on your indigenous land in your country, in your region. But they can come over here and intrude, okay, and be the intruders that they are, and then replace you. And then you got to remember, it's the reptilian, the white reptilian that was behind this whole agenda. Because what happened, your Andromeda and Sextillion, he thought that he was going to replace your black vagina for his butthole. Okay? The Haitian reptilian thought that his butthole was going to replace the black woman's vagina in America, in this region. The African man thought that his butthole was going to replace the black woman's vagina in America, in this region. And that's not happening. I got too much pussy power for that. And women like me, Divine Feminine in this region, we have too much pussy power for that. We're back, we're black, and we're here to attack. And this time you just won't get a whiff of these pussies. You had it and you lost. But it was up to the men to turn this shit around, and they fucked it up. They didn't want to take that much accountability and responsibility, and they thought that they could get over and get a bigger benefit or get a benefit from the monetary system through the karmic, and in exchange get their asshole ate out. And it's kind of sad, but that's what happened. But I want to come to you and give healing to my Divine Feminine. Don't feel bad that they So, at the time, I'm sure we were crushed or whatever and crying and didn't understand what the fuck was going on and why his ass didn't want you anymore. Now we don't give a fuck. Who gives a fuck? Good thing. I'm glad. It's good that they chose the karmic over us because they weren't willing to do the work. And it loosened the reins on us so we could step into our power. It loosened the reins on divine feminine so we could break free, because divine masculine was a hindrance on you. And he was jealous and envious of us. He wanted to replace us. Okay, you have matriarchy. How the fuck you gonna replace the Andromedan insectilian and you're a man? You're an Andromedan insectilian male. What you gonna do? Give birth through your boo-boo hole? Give birth through your anal cavity? But they're gone. They don't want to take no accountability, responsibility. They don't want to invest anything. They just wanted to use all the different women as options for resources. But you want to fully replace the Andromedan insectilian? That doesn't make sense. We're like the breeders of matriarchy. We're the breeders of matriarchy. And one thing about it is, the Andromedan insectilian is a breeder of matriarchy. One thing about it is, you better be careful what you ask for. Nowadays everybody wants to be black, but you're in third dimension and you're asking to be black. Do you remember what you did to the black woman in the third dimension? Now you want to be the black woman? Keep in mind, you're asking to be me in the third dimension. I'm in the fifth dimension. One thing about the patriarchy, it treats the white woman better than it treats the black woman. The patriarchy treats the white woman better than it treats the black woman. But the matriarchy treats the black woman better than the patriarchy treats her. The matriarchy treats the black woman better than the matriarchy treats the black woman better than the patriarchy treats the white woman. And that's the catch. So you better be, if you can't see these dimensions, you're not going to know what the fuck going on. You damn sure not going to understand my operation. And you goddamn sure going to be intimidated by it with all this melanin popping that I got going on. And the way that I'm treated. I'm treated like a queen, a warrior, and a god. Because that's what I am. I have a matriarchal household. I'm married to an Anunnaki. He's in support of that. People were really shocked in 3D when they fucked with me and I called my husband up. They're really shocked. It's sad. Because they were told that black women don't nobody want you, our men don't want us. Who give a fuck? We matriarchy. We can do parthenogenesis and we can call up queens in other nations and they can make new ones. They can make new Kangs. Unfortunately, the Kangs that we had, them motherfuckers malfunctioned. Them niggas malfunctioned. Okay? And right now we can just, we might want to tell our queens in other nations, just give your womb a rest. Because these men that you making, they wearing it out. But when the time comes, she can just make some new ones. So what the fuck we need you for? And that's what we had to come together, we had to collect ourselves, gather ourselves up together. And remember that. Know your worth, black woman. Know your worth, matriarchal woman. Know your value, matriarchal woman. Do not be an option. Especially in comparison to some karmic bitch. Some bitch in 3D. But see, at this point, you got to look at it like this. They made their choice. They went with their first mind. They went with what was in their heart. Now, they was told not to do that shit. Warning comes before mass destruction. I repeat, warning comes before mass destruction. They were told not to do that shit. They were told by men and women alike. They were told by people alike not to choose the karmic over the divine feminine. But they did it anyway. Why? Because they didn't want to do the work. How the fuck? But the thing is funny though, with matriarchy, keep in mind, everybody want to be the melanated woman in matriarchy. When you're in the matriarchal position, you're in the power position. So you just got to get used to the fact, everybody want to be you. The men want to be you, the hoes want to be you, everybody want to be you. And I understand that, I get that. I mean, if I was them, I want to be me too. But the thing is, at the same time, I wouldn't wish this shit on my worst enemy because we're going through the most adversity. We're going through the most adversity, and we go through the most mind torment. We go through the most, it's a mental war. It's a mental game, and you have to stay strong. Unfortunately, your karmic, your whores, and your divine masculine, your whores, they're weak. They're weak, needy, and codependent, and they don't know how to handle hardly anything. So, they're emotionally immature. They're emotionally unstable, emotionally immature. And, my foot went to sleep. Ooh. They're emotionally immature, emotionally unstable, and they don't know how to handle themselves. They don't know how to handle trauma or handle issues, and that's why they're attacking us. One thing, I got divine masculines. Let me let you know this too. I have more than one divine masculine. I don't just have one. So don't, I know it's ones out there that think they the only ones. You're not the only man that I fucked in a past life. Okay? Just know that. And you won't be getting none now, but, you're not the only man that I had sex with in a past life. While you still reminiscing and thinking about it. So, but the thing is, you're not my only divine masculine. I have others. Okay? But the thing is, I'm still, I have more respect for human existence than to treat people like an option. I have more respect for human existence than to treat people, than less than a person. It takes a lot of strength. As they say, matriarchy ain't for no bitch. You got to be a strong motherfucker. The men have to be men, the women have to be women, and they have to step up and take accountability and responsibility. You have to be really strong for this. Oh, what I was going to say is, I find it real funny, but it is what it is. Like, okay, like you have divine masculines, right? Like I said, I have a multiple handful of divine masculines. I don't just have one. The only ones that's really I see right now coming online for a soul is Anunnaki, but there are a few others. Like you may have a situation where you were with a twin flame, a karmic twin flame, who is a karmic twin of your twin flame, or divine masculine, as they say, a so-called divine masculine. Okay, you're not even with this motherfucker no more. You're not even with this motherfucker no more. Okay, but the karmic's still doing black magic on you. She's still mad at you. She still feels some type of way about you. He still feels some type of way. It's like, what the fuck? I don't even fuck with y'all. Last time I was fucking with you, you were saying, it's like, last time I was cooking and cleaning and sucking dick and being chastised, insulted for that. But I bet we wish we could get that back, don't we? But last time, it's like that was last lifetime ago. That was like a lifetime ago. One whole lifetime ago. My point is, you don't even fuck with this dude anymore. And she's still mad about it. She's still trying to destroy you because they thought, a lot of these karmics, they thought when they got with the divine masculine, they thought that they was going to be the divine feminine. They thought that they was going to take on the essence and the anointing of the divine feminine. And when they got in it, they didn't. They couldn't. You understand what I'm saying? It was something about you. When they saw you, the divine feminine with the divine masculine, they thought because it was patriarchy, they thought the anointing was coming from him. But really the anointing was coming from divine feminine. So when they got with divine masculine, whatever she thought she was looking for, she saw it in you. She thought it was coming from him. She got with him and she was highly disappointed. This is why you have people like Cynthia G. Shout out to Cynthia G. All things positive to Cynthia G. You have people like her saying they getting the same black men that black women get. Because, a lot of these karmics, they're like androids. They think, I'm different. And, two narcissists, they're so much alike. So they thought they were going to get a different result. It's a narcissist. When you got with him, you getting the same Andromeda Insectillion that Andromeda Insectillion women get. That shit happened on the extraterrestrial level. He's trying to use you so he can be me. He's using you, whether you're a Duro reptilian or whether you're a full reptilian. Especially if you're the Duro reptilian, the big fat one. He's trying to use you so he can be me. You're trying to use him so you can be me. And y'all both need resources because you need to eat. And he looking for resources so he can do his drugs and his sex. And because both of them are addicts. And they have addictive properties about themselves. Addictions about themselves. Because they lack self-control, self-containment. So the whole thing is about Andromeda Insectillion. The whole thing is about the melanated matriarchy, the melanated woman. The thing is, if you can't master 3D, if you can't master your emotions, handling your triggers and things like that, why do you deserve to dominate? You got entities out here, they just want to dominate for no reason because they're insecure. There's no reason for them to be dominating anything. you're just clowns. Clowning around and clownery and bumfuck foolery. So, that's all I want to say about that. But here we are. Here we stand. And the matriarchy is, fully locked and loaded online. Ready to, we got one in the clip and one in the chamber for your ass. And we hitting it and we doing it. Because, sometimes what this journey teaches you is men will definitely fail you. Like I said, it's not like they meant to come down here and say, yeah, bitch, black bitch, we gonna fuck your ass up when we got here. When their soul and their body was intact, they by all means wanted to protect us. But they got down here and, shit happens. When you come from 5D, you're a 5D being. You don't really know how bad it's going to be until you get here. A lot of us from 5D, the Andromedans, that bloodline had never been down to 3D before. We're a fifth dimensional being. We had stayed in 5D. This was the first patriarchy and third dimensional reality that we ever lived in. And it was horrific, especially the last 2,000 years. It was horrible for melanated people worldwide. God damn. So that's all I wanted to say. That's pretty much it. I just wanted to share those thoughts with you guys. Thank you. Have a great evening. Bye.